Happy Friday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another New York Times Daily Crossword Solve. We are back in the car for another In the Car edition of these puzzle solves. Couple of brief public service announcements, I guess, before I get going. I have started to update my video descriptions after I post the videos with anything that I missed or said incorrectly or anything like that, if in case I missed reading a clue or whatever, with some more or less spoiler-free annotations in the descriptions. So if you notice something and are like, no, that's not whatever, well, first check to see if I've already updated it in the description, and then if I haven't, feel free to comment and let me know if I got something wrong or some incorrect explanation or a better explanation is available. Then yeah, please do let me know. I got my very first comment from a commenter, actually somebody I don't know. I figure most of the people watching my videos are people I have shared with, but I guess the algorithm brings the joy of crossword puzzles to others as well, so that's great to know. Anyway, so that's one. Second, probably I won't be posting as frequently over the summer. I'll still try and get some done here and there as much as I can, but if the regularity slows down, that's why. But anyway, let's get on to today's puzzle. It's constructed by Carolyn Davies Lynch, who apparently has done a couple of puzzles before for the New York Times, and I think all of them themeless, as we will expect today's Friday puzzle to be. I was mistaken that about Wednesday puzzles. Wednesday puzzles are usually themed, but Fridays are almost always not themed, and I believe that this one also will not be. So we'll just enjoy the wordplay and fun trivia and so on as we go. So here we go for Friday, June 27th, 2025, a puzzle by Carolyn Davies Lynch. Let's get solving. A toy that's often quadrilateral with symmetry across its diagonal. A kite? I mean, I don't often think of a kite as a toy. I mean, often you think of it more almost as a piece of sports equipment, but symmetry across its diagonal. Maybe that's not it, actually. Across its diagonal. I guess that is a diagonal, actually, technically speaking. Anyway, I think that's what they're after here, a kite. Yeah, because, yeah, sorry. Symmetry across its diagonal. Yeah, so, I mean, think about, if you think about the four sides of the kite as the sides, even though we usually think of the top vertex, the top point of a kite as the top, and the bottom one where the string is attached as the bottom. If you think about it in terms of having the four sides, technically that top to bottom is actually a diagonal, because in a normal, like in a square, the diagonal is from point to point as opposed to side to side. So point to point is a diagonal, and in this case, even though we think of those as the top and bottom, because it's point to point, that still counts as the diagonal, as opposed to being sort of the middle of a side to the middle of a side. Anyway, long explanation short, it's a kite. Measured by walking. Measured by walking. I'm not sure what they're looking for here. Title akin to Madame. I think they want Signora here, or it could be Mrs. I'm going to guess Signora to start, because I've seen clues like this before, and that's what they're usually looking for, but I will keep in mind that it could be Mrs. also. Nails. This could be something like aces, in terms of nails, a task or a test or something like that. Unwanted ones may linger. Probably odors. Unwanted odors may linger. Lee with 50 or more cameos. Lee. Whose name is Lee and has a lot of cameos? This is going to bug me because I'm sure I should be able to get this. Something fans have. Does this mean a fan of a baseball team or a pop star, or does this mean literally a fan, like a oscillating fan or like a, you know, this kind of fan. Let's check some crosses and see. Chicken blank breaded Japanese entrees, chicken katsu. Clinch a victory. Clinch a victory. I want this to be like ice up, or ice it. Could be ice it. A ride, or to ride. A ride. To ride. Don't know right off the bat. Teenage Salinger heroine. Haven't read enough Salinger for this. Does this help us with this? Something fans have? Not right away. What about this one here? Big 12 athlete. Is this a Ute? I feel like that's like a nickname for one of the Big 12 sports teams. I'm gonna put it in. It does look like probably it's gonna be something like this. Shops for a short time. I feel like there's a pun. Pop up stores. So it's not about someone shopping for a short time, but about the shops themselves that are only in existence for a short time, pop-up stores. I think that's probably right here. One of 7 farewells and so long farewell. This song from The Sound of Music, they're looking for adieu here. Ribbed pants, informally, corduroy pants, sometimes called cords. Lake that's home to South Bass Island. I mean, I would have thought bass, but Oh, a lake. Sorry, I was thinking fish for some reason. Lake that's home to South Bass Island. Is this Erie? Lake Erie? Erie shows up in the crossword quite a lot. Oh, measured by walking could be paced, so this looks like it might be Erie indeed. It's not observed in Hawaii. Abbreviated daylight saving time, I guess, is not observed in Hawaii. And then this looks like something fans have. Could be team spirit, certainly. To ride could be to tease, like if you ride someone in a sort of a, you know, you're ribbing them, you're joshing them, that could be tease. This could be Esme is a name. And what would, motto of the United Farm Workers of America, Si se puede, I believe, is a motto that I've heard, and certainly could be yes, is it yes we can? Is that what that, my Spanish is not that great, but I think that's what this means, and that certainly is a motto that has been adopted and used elsewhere. It's probably a real piece of work, ? That's a fun clue for opus. I probably wouldn't have gotten this without the crosses right away, because that's a good, fun, tricky clue. But an opus is a work of art by an artist, and as opposed to that guy's a real piece of work, like that is the way that phrase is usually used. A ladle cradle, a spoon rest. That's a fun clue as well. Patterns for criminologists in brief. MOs, methods of operation of a criminal, something that a criminologist might study to get a sense of how a criminal works, a particular criminal works. Scientist whose number is a dimensionless ratio. Dimensionless ratio. We came across no, that's probably not. We came across Ernst Mach and the Mach numbers, or the Mach scale, I guess it is, in a puzzle a little while ago. I don't think this is it, because I think we're looking for a single number here, and I'm not sure whose number it is that we're looking for. What about this short one here? Warren or Warnock abbreviation, a senator. One of those is a senator. Because it's or, we're looking for only one of them. Otherwise, it might have been, as if it said Warren and Warnock, it might have been sens for senators. Mass reply, ? So not like reply all to an email, but a reply that you might give in mass is amen. Feature of many a deluxe Swiss Army knife. I don't know what in 3 letters that could be. Let's see if we can get some of these long ones. Works that might include maps of fictional lands. Fantasy, fiction, fantasy novels, maybe. I'm not sure about the novels part, but I'm fairly sure about fantasy. In fact, I'm so not sure that I'm actually going to put this in pencil. Just to remind myself that I actually don't know about that. And I actually don't know about SRA either, Senora. But for some reason I feel compelled to put this in pencil. What's this? Word meaning since in a seasonal song. Seasonal song, probably we want a Christmas carol, but I'm not sure. All geared up. Oh, let's look at the long ones here, the acrosses. Bossy bosses. I'm just gonna pause this for a second, actually. Sorry, just anticipated some noise outside the window. Seem to be fine now. Okay, bossy bosses. I don't see it right away. And what about this one? Scene setting words. Scene setting words. Like, I almost want this to be something like Once Upon a Time or something like that, but I don't see it right away. Let me go back up here and see if the S and the R and the A might be correct, or if we're looking for misses instead. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. Start. Oops, I'm still in pencil. Start here, like in a puzzle or a, like a, one of those, in like a maze or something like that. I think that's what we want. And tough breaks. I don't know. Some flowers or magazine issues. Annuals, yes, so we can have some annual flowers or annual magazine issues. Annual magazines are a little bit more rare than biannual, semi-annual, meaning twice a year, or quarterly, or monthly. I can't think of too many magazines that are annual, but it certainly could happen. Stan Lee. Okay, Stan Lee probably appears in films, especially, I imagine, a comic book adaptation, comic book universe films. That makes good sense to me. Food with eyes, informally. So I think we're looking for a potato here that has eyes, and informally maybe a spud. Food is tricky because food can be a sort of a plural, collective plural, or singular. At first this read like it wanted plural, but I think this is the correct answer. One making the first move, question mark, probably a pawn in chess. It is theoretically possible for a knight to make the first move, but I would say in probably 90% of, maybe even more, 95, 99% of chess games, it's a pawn that makes the first move. Only knights are able to jump over other pieces, and at the beginning of a chess setup, all of the pieces, in fact, other than the whole non-pawn back row of the chess setup is behind the row of pawns. So unless you want to move a knight first, which is not usually strategically advisable, you'd have to have a really good plan if you want to do that. Usually the only way is to move the pawn first. Anyway, again, a long explanation. Language mutually intelligible with Hindi is Urdu. I talked about this in a previous video. I think the languages are basically the same spoken, with some dialect kind of variances, but basically the same, certainly mutually intelligible by speakers, but writing-wise, they use two different, completely different character sets. I think there's some kind of similar correlation between Mandarin and Cantonese, but I don't remember exactly which way that works. Tough breaks could be raw deals. So this looks like it is going to be fantasy novels then, which is good. Rooibos, by another name. Rooibos is a type of tea, often called red tea. I think originally coming from South Africa. It's a caffeine-free tea, if you're interested in getting into tea but don't want the caffeine. Sudden huge successes. Sudden huge successes. I don't know. What about this? Kind of zone. Erogenous is a type of zone on your body. Big blank. Big Big. I don't know. Big sewer? No. Oh, I have no idea. So this could be so like and so, therefore, that kind of thing. But I think what they're looking for is so like so much, very much like that. Let's double check. Whichever could be any. So yeah, that looks right. Does this help? Bossy bosses could be micromanagers. Not exactly what a micromanager is. It's not that a micromanager is more bossy, but that they're more controlling, which I guess is kind of bossy. Anyway, I think that's the correct answer. Scene setting words. Oh, that looks like this is going to be Mach. A dimensionless ratio. Oh, okay. I think what they mean is that not that the two elements of the ratio. So the two elements of the ratio would be the speed of the vehicle to the speed of sound. Not that those dimensionless. I think this is what the answer is, but I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why this clue for this answer. If somebody knows, let me know. Old Lang Syne? Is this? Long since. Yeah. Long since past. I think that's what this word is. Okay. Maybe this is Big Sur. Yeah, okay, so runaway something. Sudden huge successes. Runaway something. Feature of many a deluxe Swiss Army knife. A saw? Where we were? Here we were? Anywhere we were? Something like that. A saw. Do Swiss Army knives have saws on them now? I've never owned one, so I'm not really sure. R&B star with a hyphen in his name. I don't know. I just don't know what this is. Some customer service workers, agents, just like that. I mean, sure, why not? Rikki Tikki Tavi for one. Rikki Tikki Tavi is a tale by Rudyard Kipling, I believe, and it is about, I'm fairly sure, a mongoose in India, where Rudyard Kipling has spent some years and took much of his inspiration for many of his works. It's a mongoose, pretty sure. What had a real boom in development in the early 20th century? Why is this phrased this way? What had? Early 20th century. What had a real boom in development? Like usually, crossword clues are not phrased like questions like this. Like a full sentence question. I'm curious about why this, but I won't know until we get the answer. All geared up, fitted out, or something like that. Okay, so maybe this is, so there we were, as if you're telling a story about something that happened in your past. You're going to say, so there we were doing this, blah blah blah. So that could be scene setting words. Okay, America the Beautiful has 4 of them. 4 stanzas. I was going to say verses, and that's exactly what they're looking for, just in a different word. A real boom in development. Is this TNT? I was going for fitted here, all geared up. So TNT, dynamite, or I'm not actually sure what TNT stands for, but an ingredient in explosives in any case. Probably that's I still don't. Like, why wouldn't it just be it had a real boom in development? Why what? It's weird. So if this is fitted, then what would this be? A connection point is a node. That works fine. Places to bear witness. Zoos. What? Oh, to bear witness. To watch bears. That's really funny. I like that clue a lot. Ending with adept or alert, ending with adeptness, alertness. It's kind of weird. Why those two in particular? I guess to throw you off. Ness could go with anything. Electronics giant listed on Taiwan Stock Exchange. I think is going to be ASUS. This looks like it is going to be fitted out after all. Gelled, as in gelatin, is set. And once gelatin is gelled, it is set. Found a parking spot. I don't know. Sitar, for example. Do they want loot here like that? It's not exactly that, but I can't think of what else in 4 instruments a sitar would be an example of. Let's put it and see what happens. Bothered no end. Not bothered to no end. Bothered no end. Seaside divers. Is this going to be something like terns? Like a type of bird? A tern is a seabird. Found a parking spot. Sat could be like if you found a place to park your butt. You sat. Bothered no end. More agreeable. Is this nicer? I still don't know who this is. I'm sure it would help me a lot if I could get it, but what about this? First nation to restore its independence from the Soviet Union. Probably Lithuania, given what's starting it and how many letters it has. That seems to fit. They certainly were a part of the Soviet Union, and their geography renders their independence sort of a constantly at threat. They're sort of up there in the Baltic area. What about this? Runaway hits. Could be sudden huge successes, runaway hits. That's fine. Actor Hawk of Boyhood, Ethan Hawke. And then what is this? Bothered no end. 8 at. So I think it is supposed to be bothered to no end. If something is bothering you to no end, it's eating at you. 8 at. I think that's what they want there, but it should be to no end. I've never heard that expression without the to. So it goes. Such is life, probably a way of saying that. Smart guy, Alec. That's funny. A smart Alec is a smart guy, and it sort of implies that the person named Alec is smart, so that's a funny way of cluing that. Many AED users. What is the American English Dictionary? I don't know what else AED could be. I'm not sure. Get off my blank. It's not get off my lawn, I guess. Get off my case, it could be. There's a Radiohead song. What is it? Get off my case, get off my case. I can't think of the title of it, but there's one where that phrase is repeated a number of times. Half of a Jungian syzygy. That's a holy. That's a fun. Probably very. I mean that those kinds of things would be. A special use of some uncommon letters of the alphabet, I will say, in this clue. No E's, no R's, no T's, no L's, no M's, or there is an L, sorry. Anyway, I think what they're looking for is anima here. Not totally sure, but that sounds like something Jungian. Blank caterpillar, southern U.S. insect known for its toxic sting. I have no idea. Rummages through, riffs through, or flips through, rummages through. What about this? Bel blank, Italian cheese. Is this bel paese? That sounds vaguely familiar. Many AED users. Maybe this is a defibrillator, in which case it would be EMTs, emergency medical technicians, something like that. EMTs, paramedics, in other words. Sifts through, it could be, rummages through, and then an asp caterpillar. That kind of makes sense. An asp is a poisonous snake, so certainly could be named after that. Let's see. Right, very good. Yeah, that was a fun puzzle with a lot of really great clues. I'm not gonna I'll see if I can find as many of them as I can, but goodness gracious, so many. One making the first move for a pawn is great. A real piece of work for an opus. I didn't even read this one. Hypocorism for Harold. I don't know that word hypocorism, but I imagine it means a nickname, because Hal is a nickname for Harold. Um, what else? What had a real boom in development in the early 20th century? Even though I don't love the phrasing of this, I still like the clue, the real boom part is great. Who did this end up being? Neo? I still don't know who that is, but apparently that's correct. Hyphen in his name? Sure, why not? What else? Places to bear witness? To bear witness? I love it. Zoos. That's fantastic. And then what about down here? Shops for a short time for pop-up stores. Excellent. And mass reply. I think I've seen something like this before. Amen. I like the reference to Rudyard Kipling, and I am so glad that I read Rudyard Kipling's tales as a child, so I remembered this one somehow. And smart guy for smart Alec, also fun. Yeah, so a really, really nice Friday grid, not too challenging, but a good amount of wordplay and some great answers in there. If there's anything in here that I missed, if you feel like correcting anything that I said, please go ahead and leave a comment. Otherwise, if you have been enjoying these crosswords, I do encourage you to subscribe so you... Again, I won't be on a regular schedule for the next little while, but I'll post whenever I can, and if you subscribe and sign up for notifications, then you'll know when I post one. And feel free to like if you like the video. And that's it. Have a great long weekend, everyone, or whenever you get around to watching this. And thanks so much for watching. See you soon.